What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only, Ash Brown, and this is the ashsaidit Show. Over 1,900 episodes and 500,000 streams since 2014. Thank you guys for all of the love and support. It does not go unnoticed. I appreciate all the shares and the cares. Makes a huge difference. Today, I am speaking with a brand that has been featured on Eater, Thrillist, and the New York Post. I've got Austin from Sugarwood. Hey, Austin.
Hi there.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. How are you?
I am doing pretty awesome. It's a little gloomy down here in the ATL. We're getting kind of, it's overcast. It's kind of raining on and off. But you know what? It's still a great day. It's still a wonderful day. I'll claim it.
Yeah. This is what you make of it.
Exactly. All right. So, Austin, how did Sugarwood start? Where did the idea for this company come from?
The idea came from, I had seen, some friends of mine had sent me, Instagram accounts of a few shops in Europe that were selling these penis-shaped waffles, and that were all the rage. And I thought it was a funny idea, but it wasn't until I actually went to Spain a few years ago and got to experience one of the shops that I fell in love with that particular product. Mm-hmm. But I would say that, since we've built more than just a waffle shop, which is what most of the places I've encountered are. We have like a full-on dessert brand and a lifestyle brand, I would say. And really the genesis of it was from growing up, I was a gay man. You didn't talk about that. You didn't talk about sex or sexuality or bodies. Everything was always like, off limits, taboo, hush, hush. Mm-hmm. And I think the real genesis of it was when I was a kid and I was, learned all these societal lessons of like things you weren't supposed to talk about, which really, there's no reason why you shouldn't talk about those topics.
Exactly.
And so I think that's the real sort of origin story of the brand, is to have a brand that makes it okay to, even if it's just in a silly way or a fun way, to make it okay to have those conversations.
It definitely, when I discovered you guys, when I found you guys on social media, it was very tongue-in-cheek, and I was like, this is really cool. And I mean, besides the penises look delicious, so
they are. They both are, actually. The vulvas too.
They look amazing. So for you as a business owner, you've got this great idea, you're bringing it into fruition. What was the first major hurdle that you faced, and how did you overcome?
I think at the very beginning, the biggest obstacle was the fact that I had never done a retail business before. My previous company, which I spent about 7 years working on, was in consumer packaged goods in the food space. So I knew how to get a business going, but I didn't necessarily know how to get a retail business going. Right. And, honestly, a lot of being an entrepreneur is just having confidence in yourself that you can solve a problem. And I just turned it into a problem that I needed to solve, and I basically figured it out. I did have two business partners at the beginning that aren't with me in the business anymore, and they also helped out a little bit with like the real estate aspect and the build out, which was really helpful at the beginning. But most everything else I did myself, and just you make it up as you go, or fake it till you make it, as a lot of people say.
Yes, absolutely. Now, as you well know, I'm sure as you were going into it, everyone's giving you all of these horror stories of, first year businesses, nobody ever survives, you're going to be in all kinds of debt and craziness. For you, what was that moment of confirmation? Like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing?
I think it was last February, when we were on Bravo. We got invited to be on Watch What Happens Live as the guest bartender. Sadly, I had asymptomatic COVID, and when they gave me a COVID test, I discovered that, and so I wasn't able to go on the show myself. Yeah. But I sent one of my employees who did a great job, and sitting there, I invited some friends over for like a watching party and just watching my brand on national television. And then the orders started pouring in from all over the country and the inquiries from all over the world. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I've definitely hit a nerve in a good way. And this is something that people really, really care about and has a big future ahead of me. So I think that was probably the moment if I had to choose one.
I'd say, yeah, that's a huge moment. A lot of business owners don't get their products on, international television that, because then you also got to worry, you got to think about also reruns and social media, posting those clips. So that's advertisement you can even pay for, honestly. So that is amazing.
No, it's great. It's great, great advertisement. Right,
Yes.
my web guy always tells me about all of our media and how great it is for SEO and for people finding us. It's like you can't pay for that kind of advertisement.
You can't. That is amazing. Now let's talk about some of the current offerings that you guys have. So we know the penises and the vulvas, amazing, just great work. I mean, can I ask, where would one get a mold for a penis and vulva? Like where would?
You have to reach out to manufacturers of kitchen equipment. It's not as hard as you might think. It wasn't a custom mold, but it definitely had to be special ordered.
Yeah.
But what has been challenging is then expanding into other arenas. So like we found cookie cutters and we were using them initially, but they just weren't that realistic. But they don't, everything that we do is very tongue-in-cheek, so I don't want it to look like anatomically correct 100%, but I do want it to have, like, a real fun vibe. Yeah. And so the first cookie cutters were kind of boring. They were kind of 2D. And so we finally found some better ones. And then we started working with a popsicle manufacturer who printed some molds for us. And then we started selling the popsicles and then chocolate bars. So we have everything that's sort of in the same vein now, where it's all, sort of realistic, but sort of funny. Yeah. And definitely a good time. Everything we do is delicious. We don't do anything that doesn't taste amazing.
I mean, everything looks, I've seen the videos, I've seen all the clippings, and I'm like, I gotta make my way up there. I don't know how or when. I gotta sneak up to NY to come see you guys in action, because I know that you all also...
waiting for you to come.
Yes, because I know you guys also host events. So people can actually host their events there with you. Tell us a little about that, how that
is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do all sorts of events. I think that started because we got a lot of inquiries for bachelorette parties, but we do more than just bachelorette parties. So we've done bachelorette's birthdays, we've done holiday parties, Valentine's parties, girls' night out. What else have we done? We partnered with brands, so we did events with Direct Condoms. We just did an event for the premiere of a new movie called Driveway Dolls that came out in February. So we did a custom product for them and catered an event. So we've done a lot of different kinds of events. Our current project that we're just getting going is these ticketed events where people can come, and we call them dessert decorating parties, where they come, they get a bunch of cookies. We have our Kama Sutra cookies and our Woody cookies and our kitty cookies and our boob cookies. So they get a few of those. They get a little lesson on how to use piping bags and decorate our cookies and tons of decorations. And then we just turn them loose and they get to decorate their cookies. And then about halfway through, we stop. I give them a demonstration on how to dip the waffles, which is much harder than it looks. Not impossible, much harder than it looks to do it right and do it, without making a huge mess. Yeah. And then everybody gets to dip their own waffles as well, which is a huge hit, because as much as people love when we do it for them, we tell all of our jokes about how deep do you want it in the sauce and how wet do you want your kitty. It's so much, it takes it to the next level if people get to do it themselves. So we've been doing those parties, which have been fun. And we're actually looking to partner with a local event space to do even bigger events like that, where we can do maybe DJs and have a little bit of alcohol and sell tickets to make it turn into like a real party. Because right now they're fun in their parties, but they're sort of like, hour and 15-minute parties in our shop without any sort of extra goodies. But, we're hoping to turn into even bigger series.
Yes. Now, will there be a chance in the future for people to possibly invest and become a part of the business?
Absolutely. So at the beginning of March, we launched a crowdfunding campaign on a site called republic.com, which most people know crowdfunding through Kickstarter, but this is much different. So Kickstarter is a great platform, but people basically are giving the company money in exchange for a product, and it helps them, they're helping the company by buying the product early. Sometimes it's often a prototype, they're buying it 6 months in advance, but it gives the company access to working capital. Yeah. In our case, Republic is a different sort of page, and people actually get to invest in our company. So for as little as $300, you can go on republic.com and invest and own a piece of what we say, a piece of the cream pie, right? They get a piece of the pie. So it's actual investing. They get equity in Sugarwood, and they get bragging rights, and they get to tell their friends, fun stories at parties. And I'm really excited about that because of the power of the brand. It really has reached every corner of the globe. We've had people from literally all over the world come to visit us, and we've documented it on a map in our store. And that and the social media aspect of it, and the virality of the products and the photos and the videos, I think this is a perfect way for us to raise capital, because I want to have a coalition of people, and I really do believe in community. This business is about making people laugh, but it's also doing a little bit of good in the world, and I feel like you need to have a community of people to support you in order to make that happen. And so I think this is like a perfect way to raise capital versus going, to big investors and asking them for money and asking them to write large checks, which, is totally possible. And I've done that before for previous businesses, but I think that this is the way forward for Sugarwood. I'm really excited about this campaign.
Yes.
And it's going really well so far.
I'm sure that it is. I'll have to jump in that myself. I definitely believe in the brand, and you guys are doing great, great work. And I know that your brick and mortar right now is NYC, but from what you're saying, like, you want Sugarwood everywhere. I mean, I can see Sugarwood in every major city.
I do. So right now we're going to use the capital that we raised through this campaign on Republic to expand our direct-to-consumer business, because I really want to touch everybody in the country, and we could probably even expand into Canada. I'm working with FedEx right now on expanding into Canada. So I feel that is a great next step for us to be able to offer these products as gifts. I see a lot of gifts come in online right now, and the notes are always funny, but also sweet too. People, even though it is a dick joke, like there's a sweet element to a lot of these gifts. And so to me, I love the idea of being able to reach anyone, anywhere in the country. And then once we get that moving, which it won't take too long because we've already have the bones of it set up. Once we get the direct consumer business going, with a little bit of advertising and some new packaging, then I'm going to turn my attention to expanding into other markets. And particularly, I want to move into Nashville.
Yes.
Nashville is the bachelorette party capital of the world, basically. There's just so many bachelorette parties there. And then other cities where there's tourism, bachelorettes, parties, decent weather. So, Miami, Atlanta is actually one of my targets, LA, Austin, Texas, Vegas. That's going to be a lot of work, but Vegas would be a great opportunity for us as well.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. That is definitely a lot of work, but it's definitely going to be worth it. Absolutely going to be worth it. Now, last but certainly not least, Austin, what advice would you offer to the next generation of unconventional entrepreneurs?
Oh, I would say do it. I mean, it's a real basic or simple answer, but if you believe in yourself and you know that you like, I know I'm an entrepreneur. I had a job during the pandemic, which was great, but it wasn't for me because I previously worked for myself for 7 years. And so there's just a specific type of person that is an entrepreneur. And like you said, not everyone succeeds, but I think it's worth it. It's so rewarding. It is time consuming, and it does consume your life sometimes, which it has in my case over the last couple months. But I see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm going to get some free time in a couple months. But it really is just like, if you believe in yourself and you think you have a winning idea and you've talked to other people about it and they validated your idea, then you should go for it, because there's nothing like creating something and putting it out into the world and having people respond to it. My previous business was a little bit more niche, and so I had really loyal customers, but it was a very specific, health food customer. This is so rewarding to see people post on social, come into the shop, laugh and giggle with their friends, bring friends back, send gifts all over the world. So I am just so blessed. I don't use that word often, but I think I'm so blessed to be able to do what I do and make people laugh and make people's lives just a little bit brighter. Yeah. So go for it if you're thinking about it and you have a good idea.
Austin Sugarwood, thank you so much for coming through today, and certainly appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Some gemstones on us, and let everyone know where they need to go to get some more information and to follow you guys on social.
Absolutely. So you can find us at sugarwood.us on all of our social channels. Our website, that will take you to our website as well, but our main website is sugarwood.co. So that's sugarwood.us and sugarwood.co. Look for us on LinkedIn and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. You name it, we're on it.
The takeover is real. The takeover is real. Austin, I appreciate you so much for coming through. I would love nothing more than for you to come back. I know as things are developing and there are new announcements and stuff, I like to have exclusives. I'd love for you to come back and share that stuff with us first and be able to get that word out there. But keep doing great work. You guys are you're making strides. And
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I feel it.
Definitely. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do You look them square in the face. You tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.